Viewer discretion advised. The following video contains content that some viewers may find disturbing. The subject matter includes discussions and footage related to real courtroom proceedings, which may include graphic testimony, sensitive legal topics, and emotionally intense material. Welcome back to Gavel Gossip, where we bring you justice unfiltered. Today's hearing is so shocking, so unbelievable. We're not even going to introduce it. No setup, no prelude, just watch. You need to see this for yourself. Oh, and if you live for courtroom drama, smash that like button, drop your snarky take in the comments, and hit subscribe.
Please make their appearances for the record.
Danielle Davis for the department.
Attorney Quinn Pham for Atlanta for the child.
Attorney Candace Damari for the dad, Gilberto Medina.
For clarity of the record, the respondent mother is present pro se. She was previously read her rights on January 28, 2025. An indigency hearing was held on that day, and the court found that she was not indigent. And ma'am, you are here representing yourself, correct?
Yes, I advised the lady that the attorney that I hired, he is in another hearing, so he's unable to attend. He did ask, say if we can reschedule the hearing.
I don't see an appearance by them. Did you hire an attorney or did you just talk to an attorney?
I hired one. I went to his office and
what is their name?
Andrew Payne.
Okay. Well, unless they're in another CPS hearing, CPS takes precedence over everything else.
I believe it is a CPS case.
Ms. Davis, Ms. Demrick, have you all received an appearance from this gentleman?
I've received nothing. My first of being told that there was someone representing mom was this morning, and the name that she gave is a Mr. Payne. I don't recognize it at all, and I don't believe any of the other attorneys do at all.
Ms. Escobedo, is there anything in the box, maybe like an appearance or anything from this attorney on this matter?
No, Judge, I don't see anything.
Okay, so they have not filed an appearance.
Okay.
There's been no late calls either, so you are here representing yourself.
Yes, sir.
All right, all those who plan to testify, please unmute yourself and raise your right hands. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yeah.
Mr. Medina, you're muted.
Yes.
You may all put your hands down. Let the record reflect all witnesses. We are present today for a show cause. Ms. Davis, you may call your first witness.
I'll call the caseworker. State your name for the record, please.
Julius Holden.
Okay, Ms. Holden, how did the agency become aware of the child in this matter?
The agency received an intake, and it was reported that outcry had been made when law enforcement made contact with the family, that the mother's boyfriend had exposed his penis to the child.
Okay. And did you all have an opportunity to investigate that referral? If you responded, I didn't hear you. Okay. And what did you find during your investigation?
Yes. The child made the outcry that the gentleman did expose his penis. Are you all able to hear me?
Yes.
Can you all hear me? Okay. The child made an outcry on 3 different occasions that the gentleman did expose his penis to her. We also found out that her mother, Ms. Marquez, was the one who initially informed law enforcement that the gentleman had exposed himself.
Okay. And what was the plan from there after the referral was validated?
At that time, Ms. Marquez was given 2 chances to attend a forensic interview. She did decline both times. And then the case came over to me. When I met with them, I was informed that the gentleman was no longer in the home. Ms. Marquez initially did agree to do a forensic. However, later on that day, she contacted me and stated that she did not want to go through with the forensic nor engage the child in any services to address the sexual trauma.
Okay. And so what did the department do in response to that statement from mom?
We then requested a family meeting with mom virtually so that we could explain to her the severity of the case. I'm sorry, let me backtrack. After speaking with mom and she declined, I then attempted to follow up with the boyfriend, who I was informed no longer resided in the home. However, after speaking with the boyfriend, he stated that he lived there when I asked if I could meet him and where he was. At that time, the agency had concerns because now the child was in the home with the perpetrator, alleged perpetrator. So at that time, we then spoke with mom through a family team meeting asking, we provided her different options. Number one was to place the child with her father. Actually, and backtrack again, I'm going to hit myself. We asked for the father's information. Initially, I was provided inaccurate information. As you all see on the screen, his name is Gilberto. I was told his name was Gilbert. So I was not able to find him then. During the family team meeting, however, she did provide an accurate spelling and an accurate name. And he was added to the meeting and then informed of what was going on involving his child.
Okay. And so what options was mom given in order to sort of mitigate the concerns that the department had about the child?
At that time, we asked mom if she was willing to allow her daughter to stay with her father. Because there was a custody order in place, we could not just place the child there, just so that she could do a forensic and we could further investigate. Mom was very adamant about not wanting the child to be in her father's home. So
stopping you right there, did she give at any time any sort of health, safety, and welfare concerns attributed to the father that she had for the child going to stay with the dad?
She just stated that he wasn't present and that he was weird, but there was nothing safety oriented around her issue.
Okay. Other than going to stay with her father, were there any other options discussed with mom?
Yes, both she and her daughter could move out of the home as well, which she wasn't open to that because that's her home.
Okay. You said a third option. Was there a third option given to mom?
Yes. Initially, the alleged perpetrator was supposed to be out of the home. That was the understanding she had with the first investigator that she spoke with. And that was also the understanding when she spoke with law enforcement. However, because she had broken that agreement, we couldn't go down that path once again.
Okay. So mom declined moving out of the home. Mom declined having the child go live with dad. Okay. Yes. And what was mom's perspective as it relates to the alleged perpetrator at the family team meeting?
Mom, she felt that he had been present in the child's life since she was younger and dad had not. And she felt that the child was safer with him for about 9 years or so.
Okay. So her perspective was that a gentleman who had exposed his penis to this child was safer with that gentleman than with her father.
Correct.
Okay. And did she admit to, despite her agreement, allowing this gentleman access to this child, despite the agreement that she would not do that?
No, I'll say yes.
Okay. And why would you say yes? What did she specifically say, if you can recall?
Her wording wasn't that. She stated that he had left the home. However, he was back in the home. But she continued to say that she didn't know what had actually happened.
What had actually happened between the child and her boyfriend?
Correct.
Okay. So she expressed some doubts about what the child's outcry. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, she kept saying she didn't see it and she didn't know.
Okay. That all of these statements, coupled with the mom's lack of protectiveness, caused the department to have immediate concerns for this child?
Yes.
Okay. And would you have these concerns whether or not this gentleman still lived in the house or not?
No.
What I'm asking specifically is about mom's protectiveness. Would you still have concerns?
Yes.
Hold on, let me finish. Would you still have concerns if the boyfriend still lived in the house? If the boyfriend had moved out of the house?
No.
Okay. Has mom demonstrated that she can be protective of this child?
No.
And has mom demonstrated that she believes the child's outcry?
No.
And do you believe at this time that mom can be trusted with the health, safety, and welfare of this child, regardless of whether or not this boyfriend is in the house or not?
No.
Okay. Do you believe it's in the best interest of this child for her to remain with her father?
Yes.
Okay. Is mom having supervised access with the child now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that the access should remain supervised?
I couldn't hear whatever you just said.
Do you believe that the access should remain? Hold on. Do you believe that the access should remain supervised?
Yes.
Okay. Have there been any concerns about the way in which mom communicates with the child?
Yes.
What concerns are those?
Mom texts with the child throughout the day. Well, was texting with the child throughout the entire day.
Think about what?
Oh, no, she was just communicating with her via text message about anything.
But all day long is the concern.
Yes.
Okay. Had you spoken with her about that?
Yes.
Okay. Have you spoken with her about not speaking with the child about this case specifically?
I have not.
Okay. Do you believe it's important that mom or dad have communication with this child about the goings on of this case?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's important that mom's boyfriend, whether he's ex or current boyfriend, have no communication and no contact with this child?
Yes.
And do you believe that the father is protective?
Yes.
And do you believe that this child would be safe with the father?
Yes.
You believe it's the best interest at this time that CPS remain temporary managing conservator of the child?
Yes.
And that mom's access remain supervised?
Yes.
And that the child remain with the father?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Demery.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Ms. Holden. I'm Candace Damari. I'm the attorney for dad, Mr. Gilberto Medina. According to your affidavit, the exposure by mom's boyfriend was more just a showing, correct?
Correct.
Like he was actively masturbating in front of this 16-year-old girl, correct?
She used the word touching himself. But yes.
Okay. And since that time, in your investigation, did you learn that at one point Ms. Marquez admitted that there was some exposure or masturbation by the boyfriend in the front of her daughter?
Yes.
And then she began to deny that. Is that correct?
Correct.
And is it true that she was dishonest with the department about him leaving the home?
Yes.
And it's true that she has refused all the services that you have offered and recommended, for, including a forensic investigation or forensic interview and regular therapy. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are these the reasons that you recommend or that you're stating that she has shown an inability or unwillingness to protect?
Yes.
And when you first contacted my client, Mr. Medina, did he make himself available to cooperate with the department?
Yes.
Did he immediately want to take into his custody?
Yes.
And has he cooperated with you since that time?
Yes.
And you have recommended that he get the therapy scheduled through the Children's Assessment Center, correct?
Yes.
And are you aware that he has set up that therapy and that the first appointment is February the 20th?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other request that you've made to Mr. Medina at this time?
Pardon me. Not at this time.
Okay. And is it your understanding that Mr. Medina has made arrangements to make sure he stays in her current school?
Yes.
Okay. And so you don't have any safety concerns about Mr. Medina or his home?
No.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Ms. Marquez, questions of this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Pham.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Holden, currently, regarding services, are there any services requested for mom and dad?
Protective parenting for mom, and then a psychological evaluation for mom as well.
And nothing for dad, correct?
No, nothing for dad.
And do you know if mom has already scheduled the psychosocial or has reached out to the department to arrange that?
No, I'm not aware.
And regarding as far as the supervised visits, currently is getting 1 hour every other weekend. Is that correct? Supervised by the department?
Yes.
Does the department have any objection to more frequent visits or more visits with the DRO?
No.
As far as electronic visits, as far as phone communications, does the department have any objection to regular communication via telephone as long as it's supervised by dad?
No.
And has the child expressed any desire or wanting to see mom more often with the department or with you?
No.
Okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Anything else of this witness?
I don't have anything further.
Okay. So if child's with dad, why is the agency still wanting to be conservator?
Honestly, the department is fine with either outcome. The department's request comes from a discussion with Dad's counsel. She's filed a counter petition, but I don't think service on that has been executed. But I think that may be a question for Ms. DeMary, more so from the agency. But that's what our request is based on the conversation we had in the other breakout room about Dad's specific requests about the child at this time.
And you don't have any other witnesses, Ms. Davis?
I have Deputy Barboza, who is off. Okay, she's back on screen.
Go ahead. This witness was previously sworn.
One more time, Judge.
The witness was previously sworn.
Yes, Judge. I believe so. May I call the witness? I'll call Deputy Barboza. If you can unmute yourself. Yeah. Is there any way the court can assist unmuting?
There we go. I'm sorry. I couldn't get it.
Okay. State your name for the record, please, Deputy Barboza.
Deputy Barboza with Harris County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And how are you involved in the case with this child?
I took the report.
Okay. And it was a report involving what specifically?
Originally, we were called out to her house for criminal mischief. Her ex-boyfriend at the time had destroyed her property, but we determined that that was his residence, so she couldn't do a criminal mischief. But while we were there, I was originally not the first officer there. But while the other officer was there taking that call, mom disclosed that her ex-boyfriend at the time had exposed himself to her daughter. That's when the other officer called me and asked me if I could take that report because he felt uncomfortable taking the report. He felt like she would be more comfortable talking to a female, and I like to take those cases, so he called me.
Okay. So just to be clear, the original report was not the indecency report.
No.
Okay. It was about the destruction of some of the mother's property.
Yes.
Okay. And after you all as a department were already there at the home, it was disclosed that at some point mom's ex-boyfriend had exposed himself to the minor child in the home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And who specifically did you speak to?
Mom. Okay.
And what did mom disclose to you?
So mom disclosed to me that her daughter, I don't speak to the children. Usually our policy is that they do a forensic interview so they don't relive the trauma so many times. So I only talked to mom. Mom told me that her daughter had asked her if she was really done this time with her boyfriend. And she told her, yes, I'm really done. And she said, good, because I didn't want to tell you this before, but he had been exposing himself to me. She told me about different occasions. I don't remember exactly what order she told me in, but I do recall her letting me know one instance once was when they were watching an Astros game, which she said that was their thing, that they would watch Astros game. She said that they were sitting in the living room watching TV, watching the Astros game, and that her daughter suddenly got up. Well, her daughter told her that he was exposing himself and touching his penis from the other couch. It was basically out of mom's view, but in her view. And she said another time they were talking, and they were all talking, I think, sort of in the living room. I didn't see the home layout. They were talking. I believe mom was in a place, it was like a triangle type thing where she was talking to mom, and the boyfriend was somewhere in the room where mom was not able to see what he was doing, and he was exposing his penis to her. Mom told me was a good kid, had no reason to make this stuff up. Mom did say that her stories were consistent with what was going on at the time, that she noticed a behavior change with her becoming more secluded, wanting to be in her room. She told me she changed the way she dressed at the time.
Okay. And so That was in approximately the 25th of October of 2024. Is that when you took that report?
Yes, ma'am, approximately.
Okay. And did she tell you when these incidences had occurred?
I don't recall if she gave me dates. I didn't go back and review my body cam footage because I remember what she was telling me, so I'm not exactly sure about the dates.
Okay. And is it your understanding, based on the testimony you've been able to hear today, that mom has changed her perspective and that she doesn't know what happened as far as the child's outcry is concerned?
That's what I've been told.
Okay. And is that different than the perspective mom gave you on the day when you initially took the report?
Yes, I believe mom was very protective. Like I said, I usually deal with these cases. I pick up all the calls I can because I like working these cases. And me as an officer, if I feel like a parent isn't being protective, I will make sure I call CPS, get a supervisor, and do everything I need to do.
Okay. And if the gentleman was allowed back into the home after this was disclosed, would you consider that as protective?
No, ma'am.
If the mom's contention was she didn't know what happened and she didn't necessarily believe the story after it was reported, would you consider that protective?
No, I do not.
Okay. And did you have any reason to believe that the disclosures that were made to you on approximately the 24th of October in 2024 were untrue?
No, I did want to add something that I had forgotten to talk about last time. But no, I don't believe mom or had any reason to lie.
Okay. And what specific detail did you recall that you had not disclosed?
So at the time when I took the report, it seemed as if mom wasn't sure if that was something that that was something that needed a police report done over. She wasn't exactly sure, which is normal that people don't know that maybe people can go to jail for exposing themselves. But as mom was talking to me, it was like she was putting the story together also. Mom also did recall that when her and her boyfriend were having sexual intercourse, the boyfriend would purposely leave the door open as if he wanted Emily to see them. I mean, I'm sorry, not Emily. So sorry, to see them. She did tell me that. So as mom was talking to me, like I said, she was putting the story together. Mom was telling me how everything that was telling her, she was adding up, at the time when was going through this and they were talking about it, she was thinking back how he was, basically she was confirming the story to me as she was talking to me.
Okay. And is that the detail that you remembered that you hadn't previously disclosed at the emergency hearing?
Yes, I forgot about her telling me that he would do that.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
Is it Damari? I'm sorry.
No questions for this witness. Thank you.
Ms. Marquez, questions of this witness?
Sorry, Your Honor. No, I don't.
Ms. Pham.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. You mentioned that the boyfriend would leave the door open while mom and the boyfriend was having sexual intercourse to find them that way. Did Ms. Marquez indicate if she would attempt to close the door to prevent that from happening, or did she just went along with it?
She told me she would tell him, let's close the door, or either close the door or lock the door, here. And he would say no, and he would just keep going.
And Ms. Marquez didn't attempt to do anything else other than ask the boyfriend to close the door. Is that correct?
I believe so. I mean, what she was telling me was the fact that he wanted to do that. She didn't tell me how she acted on it.
Okay. And right now, are there going to be any criminal charges on the boyfriend?
I am unsure. Usually once we take the report, it's referred off to Crimes Against Children. They take the report and they they become in touch with the DA's office, and it's whatever they want to do. But usually I just take the report.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Anything else of this witness by anyone?
No, no, Judge.
Right. May this witness be released.
Yes, Judge.
Ma'am, thank you for being here today. I don't believe any additional testimony is needed from you, and you are released.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You may call your next.
The department rests, Judge.
Ms. Damari, any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll call my client, Mr. Gilberto Medina.
Okay. Let the record reflect this witness was previously sworn.
Oh. May I proceed?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will you state your name for the court?
Yes, my name is Gilberto Medina.
And your father, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And she's currently placed in your home, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And prior to this placement, have you had regular visits with your daughter pursuant to under an old order?
Yes, the whole time.
Okay. How would you describe your relationship with her?
I've been there since we got divorced. Since she was 2.5 years. I've been there the whole time, and I've been talking to her every day. I've been seeing her like every time that I can, and providing for her as well.
Okay. And so, since she's been placed in your home, what changes have you made to make this transition easier for?
Well, first of all, she's still in the same school, so she doesn't feel that they change. And also she's attending right now to get her driver license. And also she's about to get the therapy from the assessment center. And I've been buying clothes as well because I didn't got any clothes, so I had to get some clothes. And talking to her, providing for her, so she can feel better.
Okay. And you've also driven her to have a visit with her mom, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And so how do you think she's doing in your home this week? It's only been a few days, right? How's she doing this week?
Well, sometimes she's good. Sometimes she's crying. But I like that she can walk around. She go back and forth to her room. She can go walk outside, and she likes to walk and come to the living room. And then she goes to the bathroom. Anywhere. I mean, it's her home. So, but I'm pretty sure she feels nice and comfortable right here. So she's happy.
Okay. And you understand the allegations that have been made against Ms. Marquez's boyfriend, correct?
Correct.
And so you understand that probably needs some support and some therapy to help her through the situation?
Correct.
Okay. And is it true that you have set an appointment at the Children's Assessment Center for February the 20th?
That's correct, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. And are you willing to continue to bring to the appointments based on the therapist's recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're willing to keep her in her current school, regardless of what that means for your schedule change?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you have hired me, and we filed a counter petition in this lawsuit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're asking for primary custody of moving forward, right?
Yes.
If the court thinks it's best for right now that the department remain custodian and you're the placement, is that okay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
But is it also okay with you that the department not be custodian and that you're the custodian at this time?
Yes.
Okay, so you're just going to cooperate and do whatever the department thinks is best for at this time?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And do you think that it's in interest or best interest to still have some visits with her mom?
Yes.
Okay. And so did you hear the attorney, Ms. Pham, recommend that maybe twice a month for only an hour is not enough time?
Yes.
Okay. And do you agree that if there's another department, we call it the Domestic Relations Office, if there's another office that would host a longer visit, would you be willing to cooperate and get to that other office and let her stay longer?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay. And are you just asking that if there are any fees involved, that her mother have to pay those fees?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you've also pled in your counter petition that if she's going to remain living with you, you are asking the court to temporarily stop the child support obligation that you have pursuant to the underlining order.
Correct.
Okay. And do you think that that is fair and in best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to continue to provide support for her, correct?
Correct,
just not
yes.
through payments to her mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we've also asked for some injunctions against her mother about communicating with the way she was at least doing in the past. Is that right?
That's correct.
And what was she doing, Mr. Medina? How was she communicating with?
Calling, texting her.
Was it like a lot during one day?
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of messages. Yeah, I could have seen she was texting a lot.
Did you notice a change in
Sometimes I think it all affects, the way her mom talked to her, or anything happens and she gets kind of upset. So if she can, stop doing that, and it's just for the best.
And are you willing to supervise any phone calls with her and her mom as recommended by attorney?
Correct.
Okay. And so you're okay with her still being able to reach out to her as long as it's appropriate? She's not making her cry. She's not talking about this case and whatnot.
Correct.
Okay. And do you agree that it's in best interest that you also not discuss this litigation with her?
Correct.
Okay. And has Ms. Marquez also communicated with you in a harassing or offensive way?
Yeah, she did the first day. I got some texts and I got the proofs as well.
And are you asking the court to order that Ms. Marquez stop communicating with you just for the purpose of harassing you?
Correct.
She can communicate with you, just not in an ugly, harassing, or offensive manner, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are you also asking that the judge order that her boyfriend, Aurelio Argueras, that she not allow him to communicate with in any way via social media, text, or in any manner, or to be in her presence in any way this time?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you think that all these injunctions and do's and don'ts, so to speak, are in best interest?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And are you willing to continue to cooperate with the department, and that if they make any other recommendations to you, that you'll cooperate with what they ask you to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Medina. I pass the witness.
Davis, any questions of this witness?
Have any, Judge?
Ms. Marquez?
I do have one. Who is taking?
I am like I did today, and obviously helping me too. I'm paying her so she can bring it to her school.
It's my understanding that she slept alone very early in the morning. She told me this during our visitation. She said that you leave very early in the morning and that she's by herself.
That's the hearsay.
That's not a question.
Well, I'm just asking, is she left alone in the morning?
For about an hour.
So you don't take her to school? I
did today.
But that's not the plan because you do have to report to work.
I'm providing for her and helping her the best that I can. That doesn't mean I need someone's help, though.
I just asked if you were not taking her to. But that's it. That's the only question I had.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
May I, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Mr. Medina, I didn't hear you when you mentioned, what's the name of the person that's taking your daughter to school in the morning?
Abigail Galindo.
Okay. And isn't it true that sees Abigail as her stepmother?
Yes.
Okay. And that's who's been taking to school in the morning when you're not available. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what time are your work hours?
From 7 to 4.
Okay. And what time does she need to go to school?
She goes like 7:30. She got some different schedule from 7:45 to 8:30.
Okay. And as far as leaving her an hour in the morning, you feel that she's capable of taking care of herself for an hour before her stepmom gets there. Is that correct?
Yes, I close the gate and I close the door and I got alarm as well.
Okay. And right now, what time does she normally get home from school?
Well, she got off like one day's 4:20, another's 5:20, and 6:20 some days. So it all depends on the schedule. And whenever I get up from work, I go and wait for her so I can bring her home.
Okay. Is there a best time as far as telephone communication with mom that you're able to supervise based on the schedule? Do you have a time that you believe is best for you to supervise telephone communication between mom and?
Yes, I think after we have dinner, it'll be from like 7 to 10, 7 to 9, because sometimes she needs to do homework.
Okay, and what time is bedtime?
10, 9:30, 10.
Okay, so anytime between 7 and 9 would be good?
Yes.
And would you be able to do the supervise the telephone communication at least every other day, if not every day?
Yes.
Okay. And then regarding the visit with the DRO, you'll be able to transport to the visit?
Yes.
Do you work on the weekends?
No, and also it'll be better if it's the weekends or like Friday night or evening.
Okay. Well, the DRO visits they're located downtown, and it will be on Saturdays.
Okay.
And would that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. And if not the DRO, besides the DRO, which is a third party, are you or do you have anyone that you know would be able to supervise visits with between and her mother?
Yeah, I can ask Abby.
Abby, what, and yourself? Do you trust Abby? What about yourself? Are you available to supervise?
Yes, all depends on what time.
Okay. And you'll be able to take to maybe a public place or something like that?
Yes.
And
Yes.
for dinner or something like that? Yes. Okay. And you do understand that the purpose of the visit is just to make sure that the boyfriend doesn't come around and that, there's no aggressive communication, all of that, but to keep a distance so that we could have a relationship with her mother, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Anything else of this witness by anyone?
I don't have anything else, Judge.
Any other witnesses, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Marquez, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Pham, any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call Ms. Marquez.
Okay.
Ms. Marquez, please state your name for the court.
Marquez.
Okay. And currently is going to Yes Prep on the north side, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And the commute from where it was going to Yes Prep was about 30 minutes, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Which is the same distance of commute from her father's house. Is that correct?
I have no idea.
Okay. And you currently, since it's staying with her father, do you have any issues with arranging to get belongings and some of her clothes over with her dad?
I do not.
Okay. So you and Mr. Medina can arrange that to happen, or do you need me to set up a time to make that happen?
I wish for you to set up a time.
Okay. I can do that. And what is a good phone number for you? Okay. And currently, where are you living? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the street name. Okay. And is this the home that you were living with your boyfriend?
Correct.
Okay. You heard the deputy testify that this is his home. Is this his home?
I'm the only one in the deed. It's not his home. No, it's not his home. I'm the only one in the loan and the deed.
You're the only one on the loan and the deed.
Correct.
Okay. So he has no right to the home.
No, the only reason that the deputy said it was his house was because he had been living here. And they said that apparently, I guess I'm not sure about the law, but they told me that he has rights because this has visited residence.
Okay. But according to you, what you believe, he has no rights to the home.
No, not anymore. No, completely.
Okay. And have you changed the locks to the home?
I did.
Okay.
And installed an alarm system for the same reason.
Okay. And you heard the department testify that they wanted you to do some protective parenting and psychosocial. Have you attempted to get that scheduled with the department?
I was never communicated. I did spoke to the department and asked, should I enroll? And she told me that anything that I will need to do will be discussed in this hearing.
Okay.
But I did try to ask and say, should I get started on anything? And she told me no, to wait to see what the judge or we decide during this hearing.
Okay. And as far as, do you work?
I do.
What are your work hours?
My schedule, it's 9 to 6. But they're very flexible. I mean, it's 9 to 6, but I work from home as well.
Okay. And do you work on the weekends?
I do not.
Okay. So you will be able to do visits with the DRO every other Saturdays?
That's correct.
Okay. And if you are given supervised visits, whether it's in a public place or through the DRO, you're willing to cooperate and not talk aggressive to her and not to have her around your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, correct?
That's correct. I don't know if I can make this on, but I don't speak to Melanie aggressive. I mean, me and Melanie have that kind of relationship where, we're it's always been me and her, so we have a very
I'm going to object to non-responsive.
Okay.
Okay. You understand that this whole process has been very hard on, and that this case should not be discussed with.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. And as far as maybe a visit during the week, a dinner visit in a public place or something like that? Would that be something you're able to do?
Yes.
You don't know how far you live from Mr. Medina?
I'm not aware. I believe it's like 45 minutes.
Okay. But you will be able to, you have transportation to be able to go to pick her. I mean, not to pick her, but somewhere close to his home.
That's fine.
Okay. I pass the witness round.
Ms. Davis, questions of this witness?
I don't have any, Judge.
Ms. Damari?
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Marquez, you have let the department know that you object to your daughter staying with Mr. Medina, correct?
Yes.
And is that your position today?
Yes.
But do you understand that the reason she was placed with her dad is because you were dishonest with the department?
I understand.
And do you agree that you were dishonest with the department?
Just started capacity.
I'm sorry?
The fifth to not go.
I'm sorry? I didn't get that.
I mean, can I plead the fifth? I don't feel comfortable answering that question. Like I said, I would like to have an attorney present. That's why I requested a rescheduling, but I wasn't given it.
Okay. So you think there is potentially a criminal issue with answering that question?
A lot of things have been taken out of context, and everything that I say has been. So I rather have my counsel.
I understand what you would rather do, but unless you think that there's potentially a criminal issue with it, you cannot plead the fifth. But if you think there is a criminal issue with answering that question, you may plead the fifth.
I do.
Okay.
Ms. Marquez, you heard the sheriff's Deputy Barboza testify, correct?
Correct.
And she testified that you told her that expressed her question to you about whether are you finally done with that boyfriend? Are you going to keep taking him back? Remember that?
Yes.
Was she truthful when she recounted the conversation with you?
Like I said, it's been a while. I don't recall the whole conversation. I believe she's truthful. That's what I said. I never did say anything about masturbation or touching. And I also always stated that I've never seen anything. I mean, apparently this happened in front of me and I didn't see it.
I understand. Do you still communicate with Mr. Arguelles?
No, we decided to part ways. Completely took everything from the house. Everything's still completely out. I believe, we told him that right now my priority is so we cut communication.
Okay. When's the last time you talked to him?
We did communicate with him yesterday. I wanted a copy of his new lease agreement.
And so are you making agreements with him to not get back together until this case is over? Or are you not taking him back ever?
I'm not, like I said, that's another question I'm not comfortable answering.
Answer that question.
Can never say never. I mean, I'm going to say I'm not going to take it back.
Okay. Mr. Medina's been paying you child support pursuant to the old order, correct?
That's correct.
Do you think it's fair that he continue to give you money for child support when living with him?
I don't think it's fair, but I'll do, if that is the case, then he can pay for her cell phone bill as well. So if you can arrange for him to do that, and I'll just take it off my plan.
For cell phone bill?
Yes.
The cell phone? Okay. So you don't have any objection to stop the formal child support payments at this time?
For right now, for the time that is with him, no.
Okay, thank you. And you've heard us a lot of discussion about injunctions today, correct?
That's correct.
And so do you agree with communicating on the phone with dad supervising, and that neither one of you will talk with her aggressively or talk about this litigation, most importantly?
Yes. Yes.
And do you think it's in best interest that you not make any disparaging remarks or ugly comments about her dad during this time?
Yes, but I also wish for him to do the same.
Yes. And you also agree that during this time, you'll try to communicate with Mr. Medina in a civil way and not harass or threaten or disturb him during the communication?
Correct.
Okay. And you want him to do the same to you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you agree that Mr. Aurelio Arguelles, you're not going to allow him to communicate with in any way her phone number, through social media, through any gaming system, and certainly not have him around during your visits, right? Pass the witness.
Davis?
I have no questions.
Ma'am, you were here representing yourself. Is there anything else you want me to know?
No, no, you don't.
So are you going to pay him child support?
That's what's mandated.
I mean, I wasn't going to, and then you were like, well, he has to pay her cell phone bill. So now
I'm just saying if I ought to stop, I don't mind.
Now I'm thinking about it because you clearly don't want to do anything for your daughter.
I'm willing to do everything for my daughter. I'm willing to, give up this house and protect her bag. If you want me to sell this house, I'll sell this house. I'm willing to do anything.
Okay, so how much do you make?
Get paid about $4,900 a month.
How much?
$4,900 a month.
Do you have any other kids you're legally obligated to support?
No.
Anything else, Ms. Pam?
Yes, Your Honor. Just a couple of quick follow-up. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask earlier, Ms. Marquez. If I arrange a date and time for Mr. Medina to come get things, is it okay for Mr. Medina to stop by your house at that date and time to pick up her things?
Yes.
Okay.
He's not allowed to enter my house?
No, just outside. Just outside.
That's fine.
Okay. And you mentioned that you spoke to your ex-boyfriend regarding to get a copy of his lease. If the two of you are separated, why was it important for you to get a copy of his lease?
When I spoke to the attorney, he recommended for me to have that, so I can prove that. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, you said who recommended that?
An attorney that I hired. He said that I should have that information so that I can prove that he's no longer in the house. That he had that he's actually made a lease agreement with someone or, yeah.
Okay, I pass a witness.
Anything else from anybody?
No, Judge.
And actually, I have one quick, I forgot, if that's okay, Your Honor, just one quick question.
Go ahead.
Ms. Marquez, do you agree, are you in agreement to not text or call while she's at school?
Yes.
Okay, I pass a witness.
Okay, Ms. Damari, I just want to confirm your client wants CPS to be managing conservator over the child, correct?
She has no objection to that, but he's filed counter petition asking for sole managing conservatorship. It's just for a temporary basis. He does not object to the department staying conservators during a temporary basis, but he has filed asking for sole custody. So that can happen now or that can happen later.
But it's not set for final trial.
Right.
And it's also not set for a temporary orders hearing for you.
Correct.
They could deny the show cause and then you schedule a temporary orders hearing later on. But I understand that would mean that there's a gray area for 2 weeks or 3 weeks until I have a temporary orders hearing.
And that, Judge, was the department's concern. That was their only concern. And if there's going to be somewhat of a lapse between orders, that they would have a concern about that, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. The DRO won't do visits for a child this old. So that can't happen. Ma'am, I also want to make a comment that I understand that this is hard on you, but this isn't about you. This is about your child. And making continuous comments about your feelings to the child, while maybe not about litigation, but about your feelings, making the child feel bad, harms the child. I understand you're going through some stuff emotionally, and you're entitled to your feelings, but that's negatively affecting your child. Your child's feelings come before your own feelings. You are the parent here, not them. You are supposed to take care of them. They do not take care of you. So the constant and continuous messaging and phone calls about your feelings is harmful to your child. You need to talk about your feelings with someone else. All right, the court finds it has jurisdiction over this matter. The court is naming the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services temporary managing conservator over the child subject of the suit. The court finds that return home for the child is contrary to the child's welfare. Reasonable efforts were made to prevent or return the child home. Prevent removal or return the child home, sorry. You guys are going to have a family group conference or some sort of conference regarding what services the agency is requesting of you. Please make sure you all attend that conference so you have a say and a better understanding of what the agency is going to be requesting. If the court does order a family plan of service, failure to complete that family plan of service may result in a severe restriction or termination of your parental or custodial rights. Additionally, failure to provide a safe and stable environment for your child may result in a severe restriction or termination of your parental or custodial rights. Please make sure you get with CPS. They may be requesting you fill out a family resource form, which may not be necessary because kids with dad. I am going to order placement with dad. Dad's child support is going to stop or temporarily terminate as of February 28th, 2025. I'm going to order an injunction of no discussing litigation with the child. The boyfriend is to have no contact or communication with the child. Parties are not going to an injunction of no communicating in a harassing manner, and barring an emergency, there is not to be any texting while the child is at school. Mother will have possession and access per CPS policies, unless mom and dad agree mother to have possession and access with an agreed upon supervisor, and the CPS has to agree to that supervisor as well. Sir, do you want child support?
Judge?
I'm sorry?
What did you ask?
Hold on. Mom just disappeared. I'll wait 5 minutes for her to come back. Off the record.
My apologies. I thought I was disconnected or completely moved out.
No problem. Back on the record. Just for clarity, and so you're aware, the moment you dropped off, I stopped talking. I didn't want you to think anything nefarious had happened while you were gone. I had asked, I don't think anybody heard me, if dad wanted child support on a temporary basis.
Judge?
Yes.
All right. Question, Ms. Davis. If the agency is managing conservator and I order child support, would it go to the managing conservator?
I think that's only a problem if the child is in foster care. Okay. Because if it's the child is in foster care, the child support has to go to the agency. Since the child is with the father, I think it can go through the state disbursement directly to him. I believe.
Okay. Mother is ordered to pay child support in the amount of $821.41 per month, beginning March 1st, 2025, with like payments made due the first of the month, every month thereafter.
Can I have that number one more time, Judge?
$821.41. That is based on mother's gross income of $4,900 with no, with obviously the standard tax deduction, and I did not order any medical support. So 20% of net resources of $4,107.03. The court is going to set this case for a status hearing on March 26, 2025 at 11 o'clock a.m. Zoom meeting ID 816-164-1224. 11 a.m. for a status hearing, March 26, 2025. There's nothing else. You all have a good rest of your day. Off the record, y'all are excused.
Your Honor, I did file my statement of compliance, Your Honor. It hasn't been accepted, but I did file it.
Thank you, counsel, for letting me know. I appreciate it. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.